First, I think something that I actually really wanted to know, how does it really feel to be performing for the first time?
Yeah, there's been nerves, not as much as I felt like there would be. Growing up, I've always been an antisocial kid. When I would present at class, my face would turn beet red and I would get so incredibly nervous of talking in front of the entire class. It's just different now. I think maybe it's because I love the music so much and I feel like it's genuinely my passion.
This is your first time performing your own music. This is my third time. This is baby fresh for both of us. Not only are we performing for our first and third time, but we're sharing a set for 30 minutes in downtown KC. When the opportunity arose, because my little brother performed too, and just went boom, boom, boom. That is legendary. There's this like deep thing that's so instilled in me. I'm going until I don't go anymore. Like there's no like end destination.
Absolutely.
I've done this being dirt broke poor, not being able to even eat for a day. Art can be dangerous. It's not a safe route. The reason I bring that up is because I see a similar thing in you. It's like, this is what I fucking love. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm gonna do it. It doesn't matter what the rest of my life looks like. It's gonna orchestrate itself out. But I know that if I prioritize this, things will start to fall into place as they should.
It's absolutely legendary because we are on our paths, you are on your path. Everything's been put into motion and this is just one of those big dominoes that's fallen over. Another thing that we're gonna do in this crazy life. Remember when we performed our first time together in Kansas City and there was like 50 people there or 10 people there?
To be able to zoom out and witness the moment, but also get to just have so much fun that's not super serious. This isn't the first or the last. You know, there's gonna be a couple songs that we both do that aren't released, they're unreleased, not fully polished. I think that's the beauty of just art and getting to share it. Seeing that it's not perfect connects deeper to people. I like watching interviews. I think it's because I get to see people that I admire and I'm inspired by be normal. Their mannerisms, oh yeah, they're just fucking human, right? Just like everybody else. Getting to do these shows, it's allowing our creations that flow through us to flow through and touch other people. And you just never know who's gonna be affected by your music. Ever since, you know, you put out Too Scary, you started a journey. You're in the history books for putting out a song, and now what? 6 songs in. You are now a human walking around this planet that can affect people through music because you've put music out and you have music out in the world that can change somebody's life. Speak on that feeling. Like, how does that feel?
I mean, you saying that literally just gives me goosebumps. For me personally, music changed my life dramatically. It has always been a part of my life. I don't think when I was a kid, I realized how big of a part of my life it was. I would have my headphones in all the time. As soon as earbuds were a thing, I had them with me all the time.
I was always on them.
Anytime we'd be like driving to baseball practice or driving back home from baseball practice, if I'm not listening to music in the car, my headphones are on. The way music impacted me as I was growing up and throughout my childhood and how it does now, still the same and even more, is crazy. And to think that the music that I make could even be doing that to one single person is the coolest feeling ever. I have already received what seems like an absurd amount of feedback on my music through posting on social media. It's just getting started. Seeing that impact that it has on people and even just people saying they like it is the fact that someone likes something I created musically is crazy. The last music class I took was 6th grade. I genuinely have no idea what I'm doing. As far as creating music, I have no knowledge of music theory whatsoever. I know the feelings that I have and I just know how to turn them into something musical and express myself through writing and creating. And I think that's truly what it's about, and that's what people relate to, is when you are acting upon your truth and expressing true feelings, that's how you can truly impact people and have a good change on them.
To add on to that too, this goes to show neither one of us have a musical background. Both were athletes, sports, day in and day out, but we're both extremely attracted to music extremely sensitive to the way music can make you feel. When it comes to creation, neither one of us have a musical background in the sense of like music theory. Anybody out there that wants to create music, just start doing it. That's it. There's no rule to it. All the tools and things that you need are so accessible. $300 gets you a recording setup if you already have a laptop or some sort of computer. And it's not necessarily about blowing up and being the next pop star or doing it in any certain style or way. It's whatever feels good to you. And even if it's just something that you do for fun, if it's something that you do and you want to take on as a career, that's so dope. Whatever it is for you, let it be that for you, and just have fun creating. Creating is a part of our inner child's nature that keeps us from not becoming the gray adults, becoming a part of the ecosystem that society has created to sort of gray out like the fun in life. Creating, to me, brings absolute joy. Truly probably have the most fun when I'm just making shit.
There's not been anything on this entire world that has brought me more joy than the feeling of working on a song and finish writing it and get what for mine is a pretty horrible premix to it, but it is a rough draft of what the song could be, and then listening to it all the way back,
nuts,
and hearing it all the way back for the first time, and you're like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. That's
an unfathomable experience right there in itself. To hear back your emotion, the rawness, the truth that you captured. We're blood brothers, came out the same womb, and we're about to take stage together, and we are getting to share creations that have flowed through us with people that we have never met, some, hopefully some people that we do know. It is God's gift and the universe's gift to be able to just express. There's so many people that don't even get to express because of the circumstances that they grew up in or whatever it is. So it's such a privilege and a gift to be able to make music that's unfiltered, to tell the stories that are important to us, to talk about emotions, to play in music. It's not always so serious. Take it a step further, not only put it out so the world can find it, but also taking it to a stage where we're the ones performing it, delivering the experience is just, it's a mind bender. You're talking to two people who don't do this because somebody else said it would be a cool thing to do. It fucking fell in my lap. I'll let you speak for you. It's one of the few things in life that comes over me and I don't have to think about it. It's guided by something that is just bigger than me, and I get to be the vessel for it.
The crazy part about music and putting out music is that it lives forever. The even crazier part is we are alive now and have the ability to perform it live. On Sunday, when we do perform our split set or our joint set, that is never going to be recreated. It'll always be our first concert together. That space and time will never be able to be replicated in any sort of fashion. That energy is never going to be felt again the same way it was felt on Sunday. Our music lives forever, but you and I will not live forever. Yes, sir.
I think artist names are fucking cool. And to me, they're kind of like superhero monikers. Yes. You get to create whatever thing and sort of tell a story. It can be a very truthful storytelling experience that's very closely related to your life, or it can be something that's so distant and alien. Well, I bring that up because I want to hear the origins of Baltzy. I know that's a newer thing. The nickname Baltzy is not a newer thing. Where does that come from for you, and how does that play a role in your artistry?
It really just comes from me growing up, and if you wanted to put some cool artistry backstory to it, it kind of ties into what I was speaking on earlier, on how I was always the kid who was super duper scared to get up in front of people and talk, and even just talk in general. If I was having dinner with the family and we had some family over or something, I'm always a quiet kid, just sitting there doing my own thing. I would always prefer to just be a listener. Growing up, I'll give the listeners to this a kind of backstory on the name Baltzy. Our last name is Baltz, and growing up my mom and dad both called each other Baltzy as a nickname. My brother Ethan also got called Baltzy. We even had a car with like customized license plates on it that said Baltzy. He drove it in high school.
Wild. My mom is so wild for that.
Yeah.
She put a custom license plate. It was for my, I think it was like my 16th or 17th birthday. Because we got this historic, iconic truck that one of us can pop a photo of because it was an immaculate truck. But she surprised me one day with a license plate. She's like, "Hey, come look at this new gift I got you." And she pulled it out, and it was a license plate that said Baltzy on it. I was like, oh my gosh, every person, cop, mother, daughter in the city's gonna know exactly whose truck that is now, no question.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
Ethan drove that truck for 5 years, and it got passed down to me once I turned 16, was old enough to drive. Everybody at school, pretty much everybody called me Baltzy. That was just my nickname, and it always has sort of stuck with me. But tagging back along to the backstory, if I give it the little artistry twist, is that kid, Baltzy, who was always scared to talk in front of people and camera shy. Now I'm just completely evolved. I'm different in that aspect that I'm able to talk in front of people and able to go perform in front of people and be excited to do it. I think it's just a testament to how much humans grow. If I look back on that part of my life where I was that nervous wreck in front of people in a public setting, and look at where I am now.
Lucy!
Special guest, special
Yippee.
guest.
What did she say? Hi. Hey!
Anyways, back to our regular program scheduling. Back to you, Aiden.
But the name Baltzy is more so a testament to the old version of myself and how much I've grown from it, and the person that I am now and the person that I'm becoming. It's nothing too crazy or conceptual or anything like that. I also want to hear, I've heard you talk about it a long time ago, but I would also want the listeners to know this as well, and hear it again, reiterated from you, the backstory of Sunchiyami and the meaning of it, and as far as like, from an artist standpoint, where all does it tie in for you?
Sunchiyami comes from two words. So Sunchi is sunchild, shortened and condensed into Sunchi. Yami is darkness in kanji Japanese. It's the sunchild equilibrated by darkness. It came probably it was 2019. I was living at grandma's, and the bottom floor, I had my studio set up, and this was the time I was just basically realizing sort of the path I was on, and didn't care who could see it with me, but I knew that this is what I was doing. Get out of my way because I'm gonna get it done. At this time, I was reading a lot of books, Bhagavad Gita. You know, The Alchemist is one of my favorite books ever. Eknath S. Warren is one of my favorite authors, probably ever. One of his translations is the Bhagavad Gita. There was moments with like spirit animal and all these different things, right? But it's sort of this embrace of spirituality and coming into self through meditation and yoga practice and all these different things. Just sitting in meditation, I remember vividly that the moment I realized Sunchiyami was, so you know the downstairs at grandma's?
Yeah.
And how it had the windows where you looked left and it was the lake?
Yeah.
So the TV that had like the little fisherman, so by the fireplace, that TV, I was sitting in the recliner that was up against those windows, and I don't know what I was reading at the time. I remember even like the color of the sky was like slightly gray, kind of similar to this sort of. Somehow, some way, Sunchiyami coming through, but it was like immediate stick. It was like, whoa, that's gotta be like my artist name or something along those lines. And I ended up getting it tattooed on me along with Fatima, and that's a reference to The Alchemist. I don't have too much for it except I was the vessel when that came through, and it stuck. It was just like, that's it. Now everything is under Sunchiyami. That idea though, because it's Sunchiyami and it's not my government name, truly has inspired characters off of that. And Joe Callahan on the cover art, there's a very Easter eggy reference. It's pretty straightforward because it's right on the cover art. It's not hidden. Yami Yami is sort of this darker character symbolically. It's the reason the voice is changed and it's pitched up and it's loopy and it's slow and weird. It's playing with the idea of the dark side. Sunchild is the light, Yami is the darkness. They come together to create one human, one artist, one creator, one lover, one everything. I am the light and the dark. It is all one and it's all so amazing and beautiful. That's sort of where Sunchiyami exists, is in that realm. You know, it's very human.
Love it.
Freestyle in a minute. I ain't seen no style in the gimmick. What the fuck you talking about? I ain't really in it. I'm talking with the shit that I seen. I'ma send it to the moon like I've seen it before. Mars to the stars. I'ma ball so hard. I never had a game like this until this day came. And then I went through and then I came again. I'ma conquer my demons.
The whole point of that little segment right there is that anybody can do this shit.
Precisely.
We're not crazy talented, all right? We just have fun making music. I'm just kidding. This dude's talented.
If anything, my talent is knowing that I can learn anything.
And that is a talent.
Yeah.
That can be learned.
But even that shit, someone might call it a talent. I'm like, you can learn how to learn anything too. Whatever you feel like your programming is, if it's programmed, that means you can unprogram. If you're in this space, that absolutely means that you can be in this space, period.
A big lesson that I learned in my life that I have just kind of realized growing up is that you are your biggest fan. No one is ever going to do things for you or accomplish things for you. Sometimes you just gotta fucking do it. The people who are successful, they just went and fucking did it. It's so important when you have these ideas, and this is a new thing that I'm learning, and respecting every idea I have creatively. As soon as that idea pops in my brain, I've been training myself to shut the other voice up on my right shoulder that's saying, that is crazy. Why would you do that? It costs this much money. You don't have money. It's gonna take this much time. People are gonna think you're stupid going out and doing that. This person's gonna judge you. What I've been trying to do recently is shutting that voice off and respecting the first voice that pops in my head. That first voice that pops into your head, that's your truth. The second voice that comes in is all your insecurities and fear. Yeah, it's just fear most of the time. The more that you can shut that up, the more that you'll walk your path that's meant for you. The more people will realize that, and the more people will relate to whatever crazy idea you're having. Even starting music in general, I had that voice saying, you're crazy. Like, what are you doing? And you need to do this instead. I've shut that voice off, and my life is becoming so much freaking cooler and happier, and I'm starting to love people more.
Yeah, unreal. That shit's got me geeking, bro. It's epic. When you open up and move past that voice over here, or the fear, or just like, oh, they're gonna think this, whatever. Some voices are so fast. Some are overwhelming. Some are called anxiety. Some are this. Some are that. When those things are dismissed, and you start putting that energy into that love voice and the God voice and intuitive voice, everything becomes clearer. Life starts to align to that.
I've had one of my close friends talk to me in person, have a genuine conversation with me and look me in the eyes saying, what you're doing is so unbelievably cool, and telling me I'm talented. Simply something you cannot ignore. It is simply a reminder that you're doing the right thing. Thankfully, I found music, and that is my outlet now to spread that love, and I'm so excited about it, dude.
It's truly, truly an honor and a privilege to get to, you know, not only something that isn't choice, which is brother and who your brothers are, but to get to honor a choice that was made in some, whatever universe it is, that's like, oh, this is gonna be your brother and your mom and your dad. It's like, we don't choose none of that. It's like this cool deal thing where it's like, you don't have to go out of your way to go meet someone or whatever it is. See who you've grown into and get to experience it and watch you grow. Now it's the expression in the art. Even before then, seeing you become this man who is forming ideas and building a foundation that is unique to you. It's so fucking cool. I think like we can close this out.
Love you guys.
Peace!
Bye. Oh yeah! Ah!